Peace, 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 family. Sister Victoria X here. And y'all already know what time it is. Um it is time for our read along. And I know that some of you all have been you're already aware of what's going on, what we're reading, and all the things. So let's go ahead and get into the thing. Okay. So you're already aware of what's going on, what we're reading, and all the things. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I gotta do my sound check because last time I started and we was in 45 minutes and the sound was off. So I gotta do my sound check. So that's what you all just recently heard, while I was talking. But we're going to go ahead and do our read along for today. It was a little bit late. I'm about 30 minutes late. But y'all also know I have 4 childrens. I also have 4 children and children's. And sometimes things just take precedent over doing this. However, we are live for our book reading. So as I've said before, if this is something that you enjoy, if this is something that you like, I definitely want to invite you to uh, follow, like, and subscribe on my YouTube, follow on my Instagram, but then also turn on your bell notifications. And if you are someone and you're like, sis, I'm not going to remember that, then go ahead and text READ to 424-306-0585, and you'll get notified when I do come live to do the book reading specifically. One second. Okay, sorry. So now we're going to go ahead and get into our reading for today. So for those of you who, let me see. Sorry, y'all. I'm having some technical difficulties. Okay, man. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the reading. As you all know, that the book that we are reading is called How to Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad. And today we're going to be reading chapter 29 through 31. Okay. So let's get into it. I done lost my other highlighter. So whatever. Chapter 29, The Death Way. Under the system of this world, the baby is born wrestling with life and death wins this struggle and throws the majority of us into our eternal graves before we reach the age of 50, and the remainder before we reach the short age of 100 years, when we should live 500 to 1,000 years, and the weakest one should live at least 100 years. Why is our span of life so short? Because we try to follow and practice the way Why is our span of life so short? Because we try to follow and practice the way of the wicked, whose span of life was limited in the beginning of their time of 6,000 years. And due to their lack of the essence of righteousness and of eternal life, they care not for a long span of life. They desire to shorten the span of life for the Aboriginal people, who have no beginning or ending, and have done just that because we have not lived the way of their life. What we were and what we are given to eat and drink have shortened our lives. The way we live, that short term of life from 12 to 30 years, is but a fleeting moment of the time we should live. The earth is an old earth, and the life that is in it is our life. It produces us and it takes us back as dead material to fertilize the life germ that is yet to be made into man. We should live far longer than we have, as long as we see where we came from and that the material that made up our bodies is still alive. But what has happened to us? We were fed with death at the very beginning, the wrong food and drink given to us when we were babies by our wicked enemies. Until today, we think that it is a mistake to contemplate living 100 or more years, not to think of 1,000 years. We think that is impossible. But it is no more impossible for us today to live 100 or 900 years than it is for Methuselah, who lived 969 years each year, carrying 12 months like the ones we have today. The Holy Quran teaches us that a year with Allah has always been 12 months, and the civilization of Earth must count their years according to the time it takes the Earth to rotate around the sun and get itself into position. That the astronomers teach us will give us a more correct way of counting the time. We and our sons and daughters are fed on poisonous foods, milk, and water from the start of life. This way of eating like the beast soon robs us of life, and we go away within a few years. The baby eats poisonous animals, fowls, and vegetables, and drinks milk that is not his milk. It belongs to the cow's baby, goat's baby, and horse's baby. Here, the child is reared on animals and cattle's food. This is why we have such a great percentage of delinquency among minors. The child is not fed from his mother's breast. She is too proud of her form. Therefore, she lets the cow and other animals nurse her newborn baby. And the baby cannot have too much love for its mother. It loves the bottle that its food is in, food that his mother robbed from the cow's baby to feed her own baby. When the baby reaches the age of 10, and if it is a male, most of them begin to indulge in drinking alcoholic beverages and using tobacco in one form or another. Alcohol and tobacco, with their poisonous effect upon the male, cut his life down as far as his reproductive organs are concerned. He is unable to produce his own kind. And nowadays, with dope added to all of the above mentioned poisonous food and drinks, we can easily say with truth that the people are committing suicide. In a few days, years, they lose sexual desires. Tobacco and whiskey will most certainly destroy it. The flesh and swine and alcoholic drinks will give a false impression of feeling to the victim that you are strong and able to finish the course, but you can't depend on it. Soon, one finds himself needing strength again and again, not to think of how venereal diseases destroy those who indulge in the extremes of life. Let us eat to live, as the Lord God has taught me. Chapter 30. Do not take birth control pills. Do not take do not take birth control pills. It is Allah God's love and my love as his messenger to teach you and keep you aware of the tricks the devil devises to trap you into accepting death and not life. As it is written, Allah God has come to you to save you from death and destruction by the wicked, and to register you in the book of the living, the black nation, with unlimited future. He has declared that we are the true members of the nation of Islam, the righteous, who shall never be removed from the earth by any foe. He even laughs at plans to destroy the nation of righteous. The birth control law the enemy is preparing for you with the aid of their angels, the blind, deaf, and dumb black preachers and ignorant black politicians, is not concerned about your future. The bright priest knows what these plans will do for you. They know that Christianity has been exposed to the civilized world as nothing less than bait to enslave the black people of earth, the original people who served the white race as slaves. He offers you death in appeal for your future generations of children. He tells you what it is going to do to you, but it is like telling a would-be suicide, here is the loaded gun. Put it in your silly head and blow your brains out. Then he stands aside, throws up his arms, and says to the world that he is not responsible for your suicide. This is what you do when you swallow the pills. He knows you are blind, deaf, and dumb. I know you do not know the plans and secrets of your enemies, but Allah and his messenger have known for a long time, for this is ascertained when we first learned to read the history of Pharaoh, who sought to destroy the future of Israel through the midwives. We know that this, too, is aimed at you in these last days. We know by the words of the Holy Quran on this attempt to destroy your newborn babies, to destroy the very seed of you. You also are warned against birth control law. They say you are not able to provide for the many children with which Allah is blessing you. They say you should be willing to stop giving birth to children they will have to feed. Who is responsible? Is it not the slave masters and his children's fault that you are not able to care for your family? It is theirs, not yours. Why don't they divide the country with you? Give you a few of these United States and let you raise all the children you want so you can provide a proper living for them. But no, he would rather you were dead than to see you living free of his authority and power to enslave them and murder you at will. You are aware of this, but yet you are a fool. You do not understand that they are after your life, and you are seeking death by following and agreeing with them to destroy you and your nation. The earth belongs to the black nation, and its people will rule it in the near future. God never gave the whites any of the earth. He only gave them time to live on it, time to make fools of you and me. However, that time was limited, and I now can say in truth that time is up. I will defend the interests and life of my people, even at the destruction of my own life and the lives of those who follow me. For that is why I have been raised among you. It is a disgrace upon us, black people of America, to permit ourselves and our future generations to be cut off and destroyed by ignorant, foolish, pleasure seeking girls and women of our own who do not know what they are doing when they swallow the birth control pill. I repeat, if you accept Allah God and follow me, and if you give birth to 100 children, each of you girls and women is considered more blessed and right in the eyes of Allah God than those who try to kill the birth seed. Because of the advice of those who hate you and hope that you destroy yourselves, the clergy and priests and elders is united to help deceive you. The Catholic religion is our greatest enemy today. It seeks to woo you into its net where your future will be hopeless in the hereafter. This old scheme of attempting to destroy the so called Negro when the day of his salvation comes to him from God has long been known by us and Allah God. The nation of righteous is fully prepared to meet it. Jehovah thwarted Pharaoh's wicked plan to prosper through destroying the future of Israel. Pharaoh was afraid of Israel's population, who was populating Egypt faster than the Egyptians. However, he did not want the Israelites to leave Israel. He decided to kill off the male children, which would have stopped Israel from increasing her nation. The birth control laws employed by the white race were used by his father, Yaqub. It is no new thing today. He does not teach you this. He does not teach you this, nor does he teach you the sciences of modern warfare or chemistry. Of course, we do not care to learn any more about warfare, for it is the purpose of God to erase war from the human family. He now plans to destroy those who delight in making a war against humanity. Who said the white man had to carry us forever? Who gave him the right to cut our birth rate so that he would take care of a small number of us? Who is willing to swallow the pill? The 22 million so called Negroes can be placed in Africa or Asia. The country is so large, they would not know they were there. Or they could be put on an island in the Pacific. But he would want to exterminate all of them with the pill so that he and his people can have free reign of the earth. But he should have reckoned with Allah God who has come for the purpose of saving the poor black man from their wicked plans. The Negro has been a group of people held in the hands of the white man for 400 years, and yet today he is like a lazy horse or dog who does not want to leave his master because of fear, and has taken all kinds of abuse in order to get a little food or whatever the master has to give. It is a shame. It is not because of lack of education, but because he holds the offer of Allah God in mockery. But this pill is a bold offer of death, openly made, inviting the Indians and so called Negroes to accept death, and also the people they have under their power in the Pacific Islands. It is accepting extermination through a harmless looking pill, designed to take away the future birth of our nation. Think well, you white Christian lovers, you sign up and to be swallowed up. Israel was taken into a country where she could do all of the populating she wanted to without the interference of Pharaoh. Allah God had Pharaoh drown in the Red Sea, and the white race is going to be thrown into a lake of fire for its plans against the so-called Negro. I shall always rise to your defense against such an artful, wicked race of people who has nothing in mind but death for the black man. Its schemes covered with a semi-bait of good. Once you have swallowed the birth control pill, it is death, food, and health. I have said to eat no peas. At that time, I did not think about what we call sweet peas, which grow into pods. They can be eaten, but not field peas. I have referenced the field peas such as black-eyed peas, brown, yellow, and black peas. There are some black field peas. We all know that food and health keep us here, and the same makes us sick and takes us away. If we do not make a practice of eating the right food and drinks, they will not make us sick and cause it. They will, if we do not make, they will not make us sick and cause an early death. The way that Almighty God, Allah, in the person of Master Farah Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever, has taught us makes sense. When we get used to eating one meal a day or every 24 hours, we start eating once every 2 days, which will give you and me better results than eating one meal a day. Even eating one meal a day and eating the right kind of food and having a pure drink, and while will bring us health and prolonged life of which we would not even dream. You will not be sick if you eat correctly and let what you drink be pure, that which will not harm the body. Again, you will agree with me that we Americans are a very gluttonous people and that we prepare our own sick bed, hospital bills, and undertaker bills with what we eat and what we drink. And besides this comes a sick mind, and after a sick mind comes death. You just try eating and drinking and living at peace with yourself and others, and you will write me and tell me that these words are true. As for the swine hog, he is well known to be an animal that we should not take food for food, because he puts an almost incurable disease in those who eat his flesh. And that is the end of our reading for today of How to Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad. We read chapters 29, chapter 30, and chapter 31. So just getting into the reading as my phone is about to die, so I'll make it short. Um, just getting into the reading, it just really makes me think about, we don't like to talk about it, right? We like to have the discussion about, women's right, my body, my choice, right? But then we also have to think and consider about how much money is getting put into our ability to have that choice. I had seen an article recently, and I can't quote the source, but I saw that there was someone putting like millions of dollars into abortions specifically for African American people. Now, I don't know what that sounds like to you, but it definitely sounds like some type of agenda, because why would there be money being allocated for abortion specifically for Black women? Right? That's a telltale sign that, hey, this is what I want you to get this. This is something important to me. Right. And so when he's talking about this whole, death, this death plot and the extinction of our people, that makes 100% sense to me, because that's exactly what's been going on. Okay. All of this time, we like to have the conversation, but not have the conversation fully. The other thing that he also mentions is the weakest one should live. They desire to shorten the span of life of the Aboriginal people. What we were and what we are given to eat and drinking has shortened our life. And so even when we start thinking about the foods that we eat, we have been taught so long to eat for taste and not for health, that there's only so much that we can imagine that is going into our food, right? And we think about the way that we were growing up, even back to slavery, what was already mentioned in this book. They gave us the worst food on the planet. They gave us the worst food, even down to when he was talking about chicken, very inexpensive. You can't even track what a chicken eats unless you are monitoring it so much. And it's similar to the pig in a way that it's going to eat whatever is nearby. So we talk about, and what is the one food that us as Black people were always ranting and raving about? Not that we do, but people noticed it about us. We always eating some chicken, right? And so just thinking about the food that we were given, right? This whole idea of getting more money to, we love that chicken, girl. But it's one of those foods that's like, when you really think about it, what are these chickens eating? They're not on a vegetable diet. They're not on a clean diet, right? It would take someone a lot of money to have to actually monitor chickens to not eat stuff that they're not supposed to. So what is really in the chicken? So when we think about, this whole concept of this death plot and all this stuff and wanting our numbers to drop, that's one of the things, because we don't eat to live. We eat for taste. With some stuff we won't even touch, even though we know it's good for us, but that don't taste good. That don't smell good. Well, aloe vera don't taste good or smell good, but we all know aloe vera is good for you. Whether you're going to consume it or you're going to put it on a cut or whatever you're going to do with it, you know it's good for you, but it does not smell good and it does not taste good. And so we have to train our minds to not always be so um, tailored by our comforts. There's no more pizza. I think I gave the last one to Amira.
Did you?
Yes. It's time for your nap time.
What about bread?
You like the garlic bread? Have Amira get you some off the stove.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. So yes, y'all, this chapter was really really good. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, just getting more information. And the other thing with, if we're being even honest, down to the pills that they give us, it's like these birth control pills. We don't even really know what's in them. Like, think about it. What could be in a pill that is going to stop your whole cycle and even prevent you from having a cycle? And what is in the psychology of not even wanting to have a cycle when we know for sure that our cycle is part of the way that our body, huh? It should be on the counter. It's not up there. Okay, then it might be gone, baby.
It is, but I can't find it.
It's on the stove, honey.
So?
Yeah, she got to take the napkin off of it. Girl, what is in it? And we know that our cycle. Close the door, baby. Stop playing. Our cycle helps clean out our body. So let's think about that. So instead of our body filtering out all of the stuff that it needs to filter out, the poisons, whatever, all of that stuff that comes out during our monthly cycle, it's just sitting in your body. So just thinking about some of the stuff that we just do because it's more of a convenience. And I would even say this, it is difficult. And I'm one of those people. I have a very heavy cycle, right? I challenge us, and actually starting to taper off. If we're having cycles so much to where it's so painful to where we don't want to have it, then we still have to start thinking about the other stuff that he's just talking about. What are we eating that's causing our bodies to react in such a way when it's doing something that it's naturally supposed to do? Culture breeds. Let me see. It's some information going around that having a cycle means you're not eating clean. What? I'm with Lacey. What? And that's the other thing. Like, we are not only are we not taught how to eat to live, but we're not even taught the naturalness about our body. Like, we're not even taught about our body and the things that our body naturally needs to do and what we need to stay away from. Like, we're not taught any of those things. And I would even, like, yes, we have like little health classes in school, but they don't go into the deepness. Okay, they just tell you this is your chin, this is your organs, and that's it. So yes, y'all, I really enjoyed this chapter. We read chapters 29 through 31. For those of you over on Instagram, if you want to catch the replay, it will be up on my page for about 12 hours. I'll take it down tonight. And then the replay will live on my YouTube. So if you would like to get notified when I do go live to do the book readings for the month, not the deepness. Did I say the deepness? Lord have mercy. Go ahead and text READ, READ, to 424-306-0585. I'm telling y'all, my phone about to die at this very moment. For you that are on YouTube, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your notifications to get notified when I do go live. And if you're swamped in notifications, right, you might not even see my notification, just text the number. Okay, just text the number. READ, READ, to 424-306-0585, and I will love you too. Yes, ma'am, I will. Y'all want to know something? Lacey is actually one of the I don't want to say first people. She's one of the people that I used to braid her hair when we were in college, y'all. Most of y'all don't even know I used to braid hair, but I used to braid her hair in college. I don't know why that was just a random fact. I just haven't seen you in a long time. Love you too, Lacey. But yes, you guys. So text the number, and I'll text you when I do go live. And I will see y'all tomorrow at 10. Oh, it's 10 my time, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Peace, y'all.